Bring the vibrant colors and sweet scents of spring indoors with fresh flowers. We love that. And Sonrisa Blooms is an upscale, locally owned, full-service floral studio providing distinctive, one-of-a-kind floral designs.
Diane Aldrich joins us this morning. She owns Sonrisa Blooms, and she is going to be with us showing us a little bit about the spring flowers. Beautiful stuff. It smells so good. What are some of the traditional spring flowers that we see?
Well, we've got freesia, which is always nice. We've got anemones. These are totally special.
Anemones?
Anemones.
These are really cool.
And these are special for spring, because now from Holland and all over the world, we're getting certain flowers that we normally don't see. These are Sheila's. These are a variety of hyacinths. Oh, Sheila.
Oh, Sheila.
Yeah. But you know, anymore in New Mexico, we can get just about anything throughout the year, with the exception of peonies and certain special flowers.
Do you get most of your flowers in? They're imported? Is that?
They are imported.
Oh, okay.
And instead of getting a pre-booked box of flowers every week that are always the same thing, I actually go and hand pick things.
Why, I love that.
Yeah.
In fact, I have to say, when I moved here, Diane was the one who put together the arrangement that my family sent me as a congratulations. And it was amazing.
Well, good. I'm glad.
It was amazing. No, you did a beautiful job.
Thank you.
You know, we want to know, as a floral designer, you know, what flowers do you like best, personally, in a spring arrangement? What would you choose, personally, if you had your own choices?
Oh, that's so hard.
Is it? It's like picking your
everything
favorite
here,
child.
really. I like to use flowers that are basically really clean.
Okay.
And design in a way where you're respecting the flowers themselves. So you should be able to see everything. It shouldn't just be this one big shove of product.
Okay.
You know, with a bunch of greens. So I just stick with the basics. A lot of times you select things based on mood, because all flowers have different personalities of their own.
Right.
So that's a really hard question to answer. Peonies are probably my all-time favorite.
They are.
And they're short-lived and available, so they makes it even more special.
Whatever the arrangement, you know, we always love to look at them, smell them. We want them to last forever. When we get them into our home, what is the first thing we should do?
Good question.
Well, we've heard myths about aspirin and ice cubes and all these other different things. The most important thing for flowers is clean water.
Okay.
They like
Cold
clean,
or
lukewarm, because just like us, I mean, it's a natural live product. We don't like to be shocked in the cold, or like today's weather.
Exactly.
And we don't like it too warm, so you want to have tepid water.
Okay.
So that the fibers can, it's a live product.
That's a great tip.
So there are fibers on there, and they drink all the way through the shaft from the bottom. So if they have something comfortable, they'll be happier.
Is the aspirin a myth then? Is it not going to make a difference?
You know, there have been studies. I think a lot depends on where you have the actual flowers, just like with plants. If you have care here versus back east, is it in sunlight? It's going to feel different. So I think that fresh water is the safest way. Keep it out of any extreme environment.
Okay.
And they'll be the happiest.
Well, you said you don't use a lot of greens in your arrangements.
I don't.
You always create these one-of-a-kind. Can you show us how you go about making an arrangement?
Sure. And I will say I
watch.
do use greens, but if I do use them, they become part of the design.
Right.
They don't become this big cuff of green and then you only get one or two flowers for your value.
Understand that for the money.
Right. And that's what allows me, being independent. I don't design by number and be told how I need to do it and cuff it. That's a term in the industry, cuff it with greens. It's like, no, cuff it with a hydrangea.
I love that.
I love using hydrangea. And these are very similar to a poinsettia in the fact that the petals that you see are actually the flower bract. The actual bloom is hidden inside. But the amount of value of a hydrangea is equal to the amount of all that utility stuff. And it's part of the design.
Beautiful.
And I'd say the best advice, or the most helpful advice to people that want to do this at home is that each flower you add, look at it and see what it's telling you. See, you know, how it shows the most beauty. And then keep building on that, because each time you add flowers, it should be a design already.
So there's really no right or wrong. It's your own personal flair.
And taking the time to look at the flowers themselves.
Well, what would you add to this one then? What would you choose?
Well, everything's mandated by, number one, who you're doing it for.
Okay.
And where you're putting it, whether it be personal, whether it be a dinner party, whether it be a big event.
Okay.
Whether it's going to be seated, where you could do something lower like this.
That's
kind of
beautiful, by the way.
romantic for all of us that end up having dinner at home because we can't afford to go out with kids.
Yeah.
You could just make something special on your table.
Okay.
And it's clean and it's not in view, it's in your peripheral. But if you have something where you'd want to do like a headpiece or buffet table,
right,
or an entryway, you start with something that's tall.
Okay, and then what would you do
And
next?
then from there you would pick something that's also tall.
Oh, okay.
And these are called bells of Ireland.
Those are gorgeous.
And the color is so striking, it makes everything else pop.
So pretty.
If you're doing something where you want something a little fun versus wild versus elegant.
Right, right.
And these actually have the blooms hidden inside. So if you take the time and look at the flower, you'll be surprised at what's actually there.
You're so passionate about it. I
am, because you should look and see, and you need a great knife.
A great knife?
You need a sharp knife.
And what are you doing with the knife?
And with the knife, what you want to do, one thing that I don't think the general public knows is the processing that goes into a flower prior to even designing.
Okay.
Because these are grown in massive fields throughout the world.
Good point.
And so before you just shove it in,
which I've done,
you want to look at it, you want to see what you want to remove, what you don't want to remove, what's appealing to you, what's not appealing to you.
Now, do you really want to cut on a slant? Is that true?
You do want to cut on an angle, and the reason for that is you've got more of an angle for water absorption.
Okay. I never thought of that.
And you don't want to forget that there's water absorption through the shaft. So you don't want any foliage that's going to be in the water, because that creates bacteria.
Oh,
good tip. Well, we'll have to have you back again to do some
You will, because I just got started.
I know, the time goes so fast.
It goes very fast.
But everybody can see
this
the
is how
options
it could,
available.
Should I pull this?
Yeah, let's see what a final arrangement would look like.
Final product here.
Yeah.
See how you see everything?
Oh my gosh.
It's respectful of the flowers, and they all kind of
smells amazing.
present themselves lovely.
Oh my God! Look how beautiful that is.
We just got started.
I know. Well, I know a lot of people will want to get started, and they're going to want to come to you for flowers. Before you know it, it's Mother's Day. Before we know it.
It's going to be here. So how do we get in touch with you?
Well, I'm at 6855 4th Street, Northwest, so I'm just a quarter of a mile north of Osuna.
Great.
And I encourage you to bring your own vases if you like, your own pictures. I do that as well. It's a great village shop, and there's some other shops there as well.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Diane.
you.
Oh my God, you're a doll. And
you have to smell some of these.
let me tell you what,
amazing.
Albuquerque Little Theater is making some magic of their own with the stage production of Xanadu. I caught up with the stars yesterday before I went to the dentist, and we'll hear from them next on New Mexico Style. Don't go away.
Your dream has to start now. There's no